I simulated through 1 year of universe mode, but there's a twist. The only people that are allowed in are former or current Intercontinental champions. So let's just see how this shakes out. Well, we have to crown the Intercontinental champion of this universe. We have an 8-man battle royal to determine who will be the champion, Night of Champions. The Rock, Kane, Macho Man Randy Savage, Gunther, Roddy Piper, Jey Uso, Cody Rhodes, and the fucking Honky Tonk Man. Gunther goes on a rampage, eliminating 4 men in this match. And you'd think that he would win in the end, correct? I mean, after eliminating half the field, you have to win, right? Well, no. He gets eliminated by the freaking Honky Tonk Man, and I'm praying that the Honky Tonk Man does not win this. Fortunately, he does not win it, as Roddy Piper eliminates the Honky Tonk Man from the match and becomes the Intercontinental Champion, the first one of this universe. Thank God, because the next pay-per-view is Backlash, and after Gunther's performance at Night of Champions, they decide to give him a Intercontinental Championship match against Roddy Piper. There's a bunch of other matches, but we don't give a fuck about those, because I don't want to be here for like 10 hours, okay? And it's an Extreme Rules match, so things get chaotic. Gunther goes for weapons, which is very unlike him, but you know what? You gotta do what you gotta do. So Roddy Piper then goes low and plays dirty. And in the end, despite Roddy Piper playing dirty, it's not enough. Gunther hits the Gunther Bomb to pin him for the win, and Gunther has become the Intercontinental Champion. Everything's right in the world. Maybe he'll replicate his actual 600-day long title reign. At Money in the Bank, we had a 4-person gauntlet match. Gunther, the Intercontinental Champion, Braun Breaker, Drew McIntyre, and Cody Rhodes, who's still wearing a mask. Gunther and McIntyre start the match, and to the shock of everyone, Gunther is the first person eliminated after a battle. So, yeah, Gunther is out. He's no longer the champion. Cody Rhodes then comes out, and then he gets eliminated by McIntyre as well, which leaves Braun Breaker to pick up the scraps and defeat Drew McIntyre to become the new Intercontinental Champion. And the main event is a Money in the Bank ladder match between these 8 different participants. I'm not going to name them because I'm kind of lazy right now, sorry. Unsurprisingly, the match is a complete mess as chaos is going around everywhere, and Triple H sneaks up, grabs the championship, and wins. Wait, why is it a championship belt? It's supposed to be... Well, you know what? Just imagine it's a Money in the Bank, okay? It's not supposed to be the Intercontinental title. It's a Money in the Bank briefcase. On the road to SummerSlam, things are starting to change. You see, we have introduced new championship belts, the Intercontinental Tag Team Championships, to spice things up. In this match, we decided to have 4 random teams join together and challenge for these tag team titles. In the end, Ultimate Warrior and Rey Mysterio would end up picking up the win, becoming the inaugural Intercontinental Tag Team Champions. And for the main event for the Intercontinental title, we decided to spin a wheel to determine what kind of match it would be with randomized opponents. These are the 8 participants that we were able to get. Main event: Jey Uso, Gunther, William Regal, Kane, Bret Hart, the Honky Tonk Man again, Seth Rollins, and Braun Breaker. The final 2 came down to Jey Uso and Seth Rollins, and after Seth Rollins gains the momentum, puts him against the ropes, clotheslines him over the top rope, and Seth Rollins wins the Intercontinental Championship. Sorry, Braun. After SummerSlam, we created an entire tag team division of Intercontinental Champions, and this is the list of teams that we had. Pretty good list. We got a healthy tag team division going on, and now Payback is also being used to establish new #1 contenders for the next pay-per-view Fastlane. The first match that we had was the #1 contendership for the Intercontinental title between these 8 guys right here, and in the end, Kane would end up winning the Battle Royal and is going to Fastlane to challenge for the Intercontinental Championship. Same thing with the tag team belts. We had 4 tag teams: the Bad Nature Boys, Rowdy Vipers, 80s Rock and Roll, and Phenomenally Cool duke it out for the #1 contendership, and in the end, the Rowdy Vipers pick up the win. For the tag team titles, we had a Hell in a Cell triple threat tag match, which was a disaster because it went on for like 40 minutes or something. Completely insane. You have the Sexy Boys, 420 Yeet, and the Lucha Warriors. The Sexy Boys end up winning the tag team titles after a match that felt like it went on forever. And we're never going to have a Hell in a Cell triple threat tag match ever again, so hope you enjoy it. Then we get into the main event. Triple H is cashing in his Money in the Bank briefcase on Braun Breaker. Apparently Seth Rollins just lost it on an episode of Raw. And this is going to be an ambulance match. And another mistake. Because this match went on for fucking ever. It went on forever. For some reason, both of these men just did not want to get in the ambulance. Like, they had the will to live. Braun Breaker did everything in his power to try to beat the game. He jumped off the ambulance, hit with multiple finishers. But in the end, Triple H powerbombed Braun Breaker into the ambulance and shut the doors. Triple H just survives everything Braun Breaker threw at him, burying him in the process and becoming the Intercontinental Champion. You see, Braun learned a valuable lesson. Don't ever mess with the booker, or they're going to bury you and end your career. On the road to Fastlane, for some reason, the Sexy Boys had to defend their tag titles against the Lucha Warriors, and the Lucha Warriors ended up winning the championships back, so sorry, Sexy Boys, looks like you're not going to be booked on the show. And we get to Fastlane, where the Lucha Warriors, as the champions, take on the Rowdy Vipers. Somehow, Rey Mysterio once again carries the Ultimate Warrior to a good match, and the Lucha Warriors win back the Tag Team Championships. Great. Triple H then has to defend his newly won Intercontinental Championship against the Big Red Machine, Kane. And after hitting the pedigree, Triple H pins him for the win, and Triple H retains the Intercontinental Championship, and Kane, well, you know what, he can go back to Big Red Hell for all I care. But wait, the show's not over yet, as we introduce a third championship belt into the mix. God, that's more than... We've been introducing more championships than AEW has, haven't we? A 6-man battle royal to determine who will be the Continental Champion. You see, you get it? It's Continental, not Intercontinental, so it's different, right? Anyways, Kurt Angle would end up winning the Battle Royal by eliminating Edge, and Kurt Angle becomes the first ever Continental Champion. And it's the Survivor Series, which means it's a War Games match. On one side, we have the champions, Kurt Angle, Triple H, and the Lucha Warriors. On the other side, 4 completely random opponents, Macho Man Randy Savage, Umaga, The Rock, and Braun Breaker, who's back from his ambulance match. And after a hellacious War Games match, Rey Mysterio ends up pinning. He pins Braun Breaker after something, I don't know. And the champions win, which means that all the challengers are now fucked and they don't get title shots. Sorry, go back to the back of the line, losers. Fast forward to the Royal Rumble, and we got 3 big matches for the show. The first one is for the Intercontinental Tag Team Championships. The dominant Lucha Warriors, who basically had a death grip over the division, are taking on the team of Stone Cold and Kevin Owens, Stone Cold KO. Austin goes for something, but the Ultimate Warrior hits a roll-up of death onto Steve Austin and pins him for the win. The Lucha Warriors now go into WrestleMania as the champions. After the match, Kevin Owens turns on his partner and says, "You're completely worthless and you're a loser." How could you get pinned by the Ultimate Warrior, one of the worst wrestlers ever? And unsurprisingly, Kevin Owens turns on his partner. I mean, when has that never happened before? When has Kevin Owens never turned on his friends before? Then it's time for the Royal Rumble. The winner goes to fight the Intercontinental Champion at WrestleMania. 30 men entered, and it came down to 2. RVD and JBL. Now, despite me wanting RVD to win, because who doesn't like Rob Van Dam? Unfortunately, it was not meant to be, as JBL hit a powerbomb onto RVD and then tossed him out. And now JBL is going to WrestleMania to fight for the Intercontinental title. But the Royal Rumble's not the main event, because why would it? The main event, Triple H, the Intercontinental Champion, takes on Cody Rhodes, who is just plain old Cody Rhodes, not undashing Cody Rhodes. And despite Triple H giving everything he had, unfortunately, Cody Rhodes ends up hitting a pedigree onto Triple H, and despite Stephanie being there, she doesn't really do much. Cody Rhodes pins Triple H with a pedigree to become the new Intercontinental Champion. A huge salt in the wound by Cody Rhodes, as now things are kind of dicey. Especially for Triple H. Like, how is he going to get a title shot now? Fast forward to Elimination Chamber, we got a few big matches with ramifications for WrestleMania. The first is an Elimination Chamber for the Continental Championship. Sami Zayn, Bryan Danielson, Gunther, Finn Balor, CM Punk, and Kurt Angle all vie for the championship. After Bryan Danielson and CM Punk made it to the final 2, it would be CM Punk who would hit the go to sleep onto Bryan Danielson to take him out, and CM Punk wins the Continental Championship from the first champion, Kurt Angle. So, maybe a WrestleMania match? Probably. The next match has massive ramifications for the main event of WrestleMania. You see, After Triple H lost the Intercontinental Championship, as the booker, he decided to give himself another chance, if you will. He gets to team up with Cody Rhodes to take on the team of JBL and his best friend Chris Jericho, where if Triple H and Cody win, then Triple H is added to to make it a triple threat. If JBL wins, well, they're cooked. And after a massive spine buster from Triple H, he's able to pin JBL for the 3, and now it's a triple threat. I don't know how Cody Rhodes feels about it, but hey, can't question what the booker does, right? And the main event of Elimination Chamber is the blow-off, because these guys aren't going to fight a Mania. Stone Cold Steve Austin and Kevin Owens fight once again. Kevin Owens wants to get his revenge from WrestleMania 38, while Austin just wants to beat his ass. And this match was great. It was a back-and-forth, brutal street fight between the two fighters. But Kevin Owens would get hit with a Stone Cold Stunner, and he would kick out of it. So Austin just hit him with another stunner and pinned him for the 3. Steve Austin gets his revenge against Kevin Owens, and Kevin Owens, well, you know what? He can get released or something because he's a loser. You know, Kevin, go back to, beating up Cody Rhodes, okay? Leave the legends alone. On the lead up to WrestleMania, we have to determine who will challenge for the Tag Team Championships. We have 8 tag teams on this list, and the winner of this tournament will be determined by a coin flip. So if it's heads, the top team wins. If it's tails, the bottom team wins. Anyways, the finalists are Jey Uso and RVD and 80s Rock and Roll, Nakamura and Honky Tonk Man. In the end, Jey Uso and RVD pick up the win thanks to pissed off and annoyed big dogs who decide, hey, we're going to beat up 80s Rock and Roll and cost them the belts. But with all the cards in play, it's time for WrestleMania. We have 4 big matches. The first is a steel cage match between 80s Rock and Roll and the big dogs. Honky Tonk Man escapes the cage, and unfortunately for Nakamura, he's left basically to fight for himself, as Honky Tonk Man's like, nah fam, you've got this, Shinsuke, alright, you can handle this. And Shinsuke ends up getting destroyed and obliterated by Roman and Braun. Both Roman and Braun escape the cage basically around the same time, and they win. So, good job, Honky Tonk Man. You left your partner out to dry. He probably beat him up afterwards, and 80s Rock and Roll came to an end. Then, our second match is for the Continental Championship. We spin a wheel to determine what match it's going to be, and it ends up being a 4-person gauntlet match between CM Punk, Kurt Angle, Eddie Guerrero, and Finn Balor. Finn Balor and Eddie Guerrero get eliminated pretty early, so it comes down to the final 2, Kurt Angle and CM Punk. After multiple ankle lock attempts, he finally locks on like the 3rd or 4th one and makes CM Punk tap out. Kurt Angle wins back the Continental Championship, ending the Universe run with the belt. We also have another match on the show. Gunther and Pat Patterson decide to duke it out to see who is the best Intercontinental Champion, and Gunther ends up winning the match. Good for him, I guess. Pat Patterson can go fuck himself. But next, our tag team title match, 420 Yeet versus the Lucha Warriors. And with Rey Mysterio taking care of RVD on the outside, the Ultimate Warrior hits a big Warrior Splash on the Jey Uso and pins him for the 3. The Lucha Warriors once again retain their tag team titles, proving that they are truly the best team. Even though the Ultimate Warrior kind of sucks ass, you know what? Rey Mysterio's there, so he carries him over the finish line. Fuck Ultimate Warrior, he's dog shit, trash. But it's the main event. It's Cody Rhodes defending against Triple H and JBL. And at the climax of the match, Triple H has his trusty sledgehammer and pounds Cody Rhodes in the ass with it. Cody rolls out of the ring, JBL gets up and big boots Hunter straight in his dumb face. And JBL pins Triple H for the 3. JBL, the winner of the Royal Rumble, wins the Intercontinental Championship to end the Universe. I mean, that's cool, I guess. He didn't pin the, champion, but you know what? A win is a win, and that's all that matters for John Bradshaw Layfield. Thanks for watching and take care.